It's another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, episode 540, and I'm Dr. Neil, your host of the show. Welcome back to another Friday show where I play your questions right here on the air and simply answer them. On all the other days, I read health and fitness blogs to you like an audiobook, with permission from the authors, of course. I truly feel like my mission in this life is to share good information with others. But before I could do that, I knew I needed the credentials to back that up. And so if you're wondering, well, why am I qualified to answer your questions? I do have my doctorate degree in public health with an emphasis in chronic disease prevention and nutrition. I also have my master's of public health degree with an emphasis in health education and health promotion. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, a certified health education specialist, and a certified exercise physiologist or personal trainer, same thing. I want this to be a place where you can expect to hear the truth. I know there are so many myths out there when it comes to nutrition, exercise, stress management, weight management, and all of those things. And so I want you to be able to ask me the questions and then hear the truth. And I try and base my responses on research. What do published studies say on this topic? And that's because, for now, that's the best way we can determine whether there's a real effect happening, whether something is true or simply just another myth. Now, I'll let you know how you can send in your own questions at the end of the show. But for now, let's hear today's question and start optimizing your life.
Hey, my name is Sam, and I wanted to ask about cranberries. I've always heard that taking cranberry supplements or drinking cranberry juice would help with UTIs, but I didn't know if that was actually true. And I also was curious as to whether or not there's specific benefits to cranberries themselves. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your question, Sam. Okay, I know it's not the season, but since the holidays are in my heart year-round, and since we're talking about cranberries, I can't resist mentioning something. I make a killer cranberry sauce around the holidays, and I'll give you the secret ingredients at the end of this episode. I'll spare those of you for now that don't really care. All right, cranberries. They're actually a fruit native to North America and have been thought to contain healing properties for hundreds and possibly thousands of years. North American Indians used cranberries to treat urinary tract infections and kidney diseases. Just so we're on the same page, by the way, a urinary tract infection, or UTI, can occur in the kidneys, in the bladder, or in the urethra, or really anywhere in between. A UTI is usually caused by harmful bacteria that have somehow embedded themselves in one or more of these areas of the body. Most often, a UTI is caused by bacteria in the bladder or in the urethra. Now, symptoms can vary, but they can include pain during urination, having an urge to urinate but with very little volume, general pelvic pain, and blood in the urine. Fever, nausea, and vomiting can also occur, but this may be a sign that the infection is in the kidneys, which is a much more serious situation. Luckily, a dose of antibiotics usually takes care of a UTI. I should mention that because of the nature of their anatomy, UTIs are far more common among women. That's not to say men cannot get a UTI. We absolutely can, but it just doesn't happen as often. But for both men and women, the infection can occur at any time during one's life, but is much more likely when folks become sexually active and as we get older. So, can cranberries help prevent or treat this very uncomfortable situation? To determine this, we need to understand whether cranberries possess any kind of magical quality that may fight off infections. In fact, just by looking at them, you would guess by their deep red color that cranberries would be loaded with antioxidants. Side note, colorful plant-based foods are often full of antioxidants. It's the antioxidants that actually give them that color. And in the case of cranberries, you would have guessed correctly. Cranberries are a great source of vitamins A, C, and K, as well as proanthocyanidins, or PACs for short. PACs, along with vitamins A and C, are all antioxidants. Now, when the body's been infected with bacteria or a virus, the body's immune system wakes up and tries to fight it off. That's great. Part of this process, though, leads to what we call inflammation in the body. Antioxidants help reduce this inflammation in the body and may have the ability to kill some of these bacteria and viruses. Now, specifically, PACs in cranberries are thought to prevent these harmful bacteria from sticking to the wall of the bladder, which I mentioned is a common site for urinary tract infections. Now, along with that, remember, cranberries are also high in vitamins A and C, and these help the immune system function optimally. So again, It seems all signs point to the fact that cranberries can in fact be useful in the prevention and treatment of UTIs. When we look at the research, as promised, which I do, the data seem to conflict at times. A number of studies on this topic have been published, but they each use different cranberry dosages, have different recommendations for how frequently study subjects needed to consume it. They may have had the study participants consuming cranberry juice, where others looked at cranberry powders. Then other studies may have looked at those currently suffering from a UTI, yet others looked at only those folks that are healthy right now but frequently suffer from UTIs, and so on. You get the idea. What I'm trying to say is this makes it really challenging to make strong conclusions about the effectiveness of cranberries for preventing or treating UTIs. So I'm going to do my best to make some sound recommendations based on these conflicting data. For the most part, based on well-designed studies, consuming cranberries can help prevent and possibly treat urinary tract infections. But for this to actually work, the first step is to identify the purest form of cranberries you can find. Have you ever tried eating a raw cranberry? It is awful. Don't do it. It's face-meltingly sour. So, it's just not practical to sit and consume a bowl of cranberries like you would any other berry. So many of the commercial cranberry juices are loaded with sugar to make them more palatable. So the trick is to consume pure cranberry juice, not cranberry juice cocktail. Pure cranberry juice will likely have some sugar added, but not nearly as much as cranberry juice cocktail. Be sure that when reading the label, cranberries are listed as the first ingredient. It appears that consuming 8 to 10 fluid ounces per day appears to be the right dose. That's basically a cup to a cup and a quarter of pure cranberry juice. Now, if you're not crazy about drinking this much juice, like for those with diabetes, a dry cranberry juice extract may also be helpful for preventing and treating UTIs. When it comes to supplements, like I always say, be sure to find a product that is free of impurities and fillers. You can do this by doing a quick search on consumerlab.com. If you decide to go this route and supplement with cranberry juice extract, consume 300 to 400 milligrams twice a day. Now, the next thing we need to consider is whether consuming this much cranberry juice or dry cranberry extract could do any harm. Again, for those with diabetes or those wanting to lose weight, drinking too much juice may not be recommended. But 1 cup per day, which is 8 fluid ounces, is likely fine. As far as supplementing with dry cranberry extract, again, provided you've purchased a quality supplement, the research shows that there doesn't appear to be any negative effects. If you're taking blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin, or are on any heart or blood pressure medications or antidepressants, definitely check with your doctor first because you don't want to consume your daily dose of cranberry around the same time you're taking these medications. They could interfere with each other. And of course, you always want to tell your primary care physician what you're planning on doing, that you plan to drink 1 cup of pure cranberry juice a day to prevent UTIs, or that you plan to take 300 to 400 milligrams twice a day of pure cranberry extract. So the bottom line is this: cranberry, in its purest form, may help prevent and treat UTIs. Now, if you suspect that you're currently suffering from a UTI, of course, let your doctor know. Let he or she know that you plan to consume 1 cup of pure cranberry juice a day or 300 to 400 milligrams of dry cranberry extract twice a day. They need to know these things. If you decide to self-diagnose and use cranberries as your only method of treatment, what could happen is if it's not treated correctly, the UTI can get worse and spread. So the bacteria start to get into the bloodstream and then spread to other organs, and that could lead to a more serious situation. So again, just be sure your doctor is in the loop. Oh, and lastly, like I promised, here are my secret ingredients to make a killer cranberry sauce this holiday season, which, if you really think about it, isn't too far away. Add some orange peel, some cinnamon sticks, and some ginger. You probably heard about those things already, but here's the kicker. Add lingonberry. Lingonberries come from Sweden, and believe it or not, you can find jarred lingonberries at many stores. The lingonberry makes it good. Oh, and don't expect cranberry sauce to help with UTIs, since it's loaded with sugar. Thank you again for the question, Sam. You'll be entered into a very small raffle every month to win a book. And if you want to be in the raffle, send me a question. Just come by oldpodcast.com/ask. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in your question. The number is 61 I love OHD. Both methods are in this episode's description, which you can find at oldpodcast.com. All right, my secret cranberry recipe is out there in the cosmos now. Thank you for listening every day. Thank you for listening all the way through. Thank you for being a subscriber and checking out our Instagram page. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday. As always, your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.